This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and welcome to another Performance Gears episode where today we're going to be breaking down the Adidas 2021 lineup and help you guys out with what to expect as far as sizing and levels of performance. Let's jump right in. If this is your first time on the channel, thank you for joining in. Hopefully you guys can subscribe. We actually did pass over 10,000 subscribers end of last year, so I can't thank you enough. If you guys do have any questions, I do try to respond to any DMs on Instagram, any questions you guys put in the comments. I really hope to be a source to all my athletes out there and help you guys out, especially my wide footers and big footers out there. And just breaking down the performance aspects, we don't really deal with too much hype or heat around here, but I just want to help you guys on the court, on the field, or wherever it's going to help you out as far as getting the most performance out of your gear. With that all said, let's jump right into Adidas. All right, so 3 stripes, at least for basketball performance. I don't want to talk about their other aspects of either training or running. Usually feel like they take a year off. Every other year, they seem to have a really good lineup. This year for 2021 is another one of those really good years. Now, as far as last year and how it wasn't as prolific as they could have been and kind of they take that year off, let me just tell you guys, last year was the first year Adidas didn't have any shoes with boost that were widely available. And I say that because I think the T-Mac Millennium 2, which was not available in the US, I don't think it was available in most markets, was the only shoe with boost. So the fact that you couldn't really get that, I don't want to count it. Since Boost was released and it came out on some crazy light boost, it came out on the D-Rose 5. Think about that, we're on the D-Rose 11. But last year, you couldn't get Boost for any reason. All right, so Adidas is back. 2021, most of their shoes are now coming with some form of boost, and I think they're working that in with their Light Strike. Now, last year they did come out with their new Light Strike foam. It actually did debut. Here what I have, if you guys can see in the back, on your next level, initial one, the first one. So the next level debuted your Light Strike. I did not like this shoe. I love this colorway. This is a performance first as far as no laces. So this is one I keep on hand, but the fit was incredibly suffocating, especially for a wide footer. The cushion for me was just really firm. I did not enjoy Light Strike initially. Let's fast forward to the Harden Volume 4. This also had Light Strike. God, was it awful. Now, I was able to pick up a few pair of Harden Volume 4s on the cheap. I actually do have this one available for sale on eBay if you guys want to check out our Sneaker Gears page on eBay. This pair I wore for 4 days in the house. I did not play in it. I know that's different, running and getting your foot sweaty and heated and actually cutting it and actually playing with it. The fit's going to be different. But I have about 26 hours of just wearing this in a house. So there you can see there's nothing on the outsole here. It still didn't break in. Now, lengthwise, the 12 was perfect. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to go bigger, but I did have a subscriber who said, hey, he wore his and it took a week or two of break in and it finally did, and he loved them. I can tell you guys, after a week, this is just suffocatingly tight along the top of the foot. If you have any high instep, if you have any girth on your foot, or if you have a wide foot in any way, I think in a perfect world, a 12.5 may have done right, but that's harder to find. So I was able to get a size 13. And in a size 13, I'll show you guys that here, it fit, it worked. It wasn't suffocating. I was still able to get a nice lockdown. Again, this pair just walking around, but this was a pair I actually did a few drills in just to make sure my foot wasn't sliding too much. And the Light Strike felt decent. I know I'd done a video on this, I think, when it came to Under Armour, where if you're between sizes and you go up a size, generally, if they have to do a new tooling for that size, so if you're between like a 10 and 11, depending on the shoe, or 10.5 and 11, 11 and 12, whatever it is, going up to a 13, this felt way more comfortable than the 12. So I had some cushion, which that one felt like nothing. The fit was right. I could actually enjoy these, so I'm keeping these. Now, this did feel long for all those who don't want any space on their toe, especially if you're wide footers. Obviously, there's nothing you can do. And I'm gonna get to size and count on all the Adidas collection going in a few seconds here, but I broke out my Harden Volume 2s. It was the same case. I had to go to a size 13. Those ran really narrow on the midfoot, and they did give me maybe a little bit too much space. Obviously, you want a finger's width. I had maybe a thumb's width. So I had some space here, but it wasn't terrible. I was able to enjoy it. The cushion was great as far as being minimal, but just enough where it still was comfortable. So I am excited to try these on court, but we're already in Harden Volume 5 territory. And this shoe, this sparks the kind of next generation, the 2021 lineup, along with our Pro Boost back here. Both of these shoes, along with the Next Level 2, along with the Next Level 3, all have a combination of light strike and boost, and they feel incredible. Not to mention the Dame 6 and then the Dame 7 now. These also have light strike, and this was substantially more comfortable than your Harden Volume 4. This is a much softer version of light strike and just actually feels really nice. It's just a great all-arounder. Now, this specific version of the Dame 6 was probably the best one, simply because it did not have that really loose-fitting upper. It was much more rigid, which aided in containment, which most people did not enjoy in the Dame 6, and it had a solid outsole, so the grip was just a huge difference and upgrade from the rest of the Dame 6 lineup with the half clear and half solid portions. Now, the Dame 7, by most accounts, has a better cushion, a little bit more light strike, and better traction. I haven't looked at it simply because I think I have the best version of the Dame 6. Maybe I'll pick up the Dame 7 on the cheap, but at the same time, you're still getting a pretty nice cushion all the way around, the Dame 7 all the way up, and that leaves us with only 2 more signature sneakers that maybe you want to look at. Before we jump into those, I did want to touch on sizing. If you are going to be ordering any Adidas shoe as far as their basketball lineup, not their running, not their training, which I don't want to go into just yet, but just their basketball, all of Adidas's lineup are running a half size big. How do I know that? And how am I comparing that is I do have a 2-part series if you guys wanted to check that video out, where I talk about how shoe sizes are compared and what you want to look at and what they compare to other shoes. Well, this is the Don issue 2. A lot of people really enjoy the fit on these. A lot of them had to go down half a size. Well, why is that? Generally, I'm a 12 wide. I usually get a 12 and a half in most sneakers, and that fits me for the most part perfectly. 12 and a half in most parts of the world is a hard to find size. Maybe a little less hard to find a 13 and a half, which is a unicorn, and they don't make 14 and a half. So I'm usually forced to go straight to a 13. With Adidas, fortunately, I'm able to, on many shoes, such as we have here on the Harden Volume 5, is go directly to a size 12, because that's really a 12 and a half. If you look at the Don issue 2 here, and I'll read it here and I'll show you guys some videos as we cut away, this is a US 11 and a half, but it's a UK 11. The UK 11 on most shoes from Under Armour to Nike is a 12. This runs a half size big. It also shows a size 46 Euro, 46 2/3 actually in some of the other shoes, in a size 12. That's a 12 and a half right around, or that's a 12 in almost every other shoe. This is also a 295 centimeters. So this is a 12 in every other part of the world, but they label it as a 11 and a half here in the US. Now for this specific shoe, if I wear thin socks, the fit is decent and I can get away with it because of my wide foot. I think maybe a size 12 would be perfect, but at the same time, I got these at a really good deal. If you guys really want this, I've worn these once, and I'll jump into how the cushion stacks up. I just wanted to kind of finish on the sizing. If we go over to the Harden Volume 5, this is a US 12, but this is a UK 11 and a half. That's a 12 and a half in pretty much every other manufacturer. We go to the Euro sizing, it's a 46 2/3. Again, 12 and a half, and this is a 300 centimeter sizing. This is a 12 and a half on everybody else's throughout the, I guess, shoe world. So being able to read the sizing here is going to help you out as far as how they run. So it's not necessarily that these are running a half size big. These are true to size for UK 11 and a half, for a Euro 46 2/3. for a 300 centimeter length. For whatever reason, the US, they put it as a 12, which that is off. So if you're looking at anything from Adidas and you're a wide footer, just like me, I would want to go up a half size to a 12.5, but a 12 is a 12.5, if that makes sense. Now, if you're a narrow footer or a regular footer, do the math on your own. You may have to go a full size down on some of these shoes because they are running big. This is an 11.5, which is already a half size down for me and fits me lengthwise kind of tight. Maybe I could have done a 12, but if you were a true size 12, you may have to go all the way down to an 11, just because this has a lot of room, and that goes for pretty much every shoe I have here. Adidas is probably the only brand where I can do an 11.5. I initially got a size 12 in the Dame 6, and it was just a sloppy, big fit. And I'll look at the sizing here. This is a UK 11, even though it's an 11.5. It's a 46. That's a size 12. I went with 11.5 on this, and the fit, although it took some break-in, just is a huge difference in the level of containment it offered, which means, again, if you're a 10, you probably would have needed a 9 in the Dame 6. I'm going to venture to say the Dame 7, all of these are running the same way. The Harden Volume 5, the Pro Boost, which is another one. I got this in a 12. This already runs long, and this is all true to size. This is a UK 11.5. This is a 12.5. But width-wise, it feels great. Length-wise, it's not too much longer. The Adidas size 12, if you're a wide footer out there and you have a wide foot size 10, wide foot size 11, for the most part, if you go true to size, it's as if you're going up half a size, and you're going to have a good fit in pretty much most of their lineup. If you go up a half a size, that's a full size up. These are starting to run big. And if you're a normal footer, yeah, you probably need to go a half to a full size down. So guys, hopefully that helps you on the sizing. I definitely wanted to touch on how they stack up cushion wise as far as the Adidas lineup. And we're going to go from the D Rose to the Don Issue 2 to your Pro Boost, your next level, your Dame 7, and obviously your Harden Volume 5. So your Dame 2 is going to be the only shoe from Adidas lineup as of right now, at least signature shoe. I know they have some budget shoes you might be able to find at discount stores that I don't even know the name of, to be honest, that is still using Bounce. Bounce is a second tier, third tier, I guess now it's fourth tier now if you want to look at Boost, Light Strike. What else do we have? I guess you have Bounce, but then you also have the EVA, you have Adiprene. This is probably one of their heavier cushion setups as far as the Bounce, especially compared to Light Strike. This has minimal protection. This is probably one of the best shoes that I used for training because it's a firm setup. If you don't like cushion, if you like court feel, or you want just enough cushion, because this does still absorb impact to a lesser degree. This is not a shoe I'm really in love with, but if you're a lighter player, you like that court feel, this is still going to give you some impact protection. I have not had a chance to play with this on court, so I wish I could comment on traction. I'm not going to be able to on any of these, but the most minimal cushion setup while still giving you great support and just giving you a fit that for most people, as long as you're going down that half size to a full size, is going to be your Don Issue 2. Now, two shoes that are almost exactly the same are going to be your D Rose 11 with Light Strike cushioning and your Dame 7 with Light Strike cushioning. By all accounts, the Dame 7 is a vastly superior shoe on pretty much anyone's review. I have not done them yet, just because I got a really good Dame 6. So let me know if you guys want me to review either one of those shoes. The Dame 7 looked to have a lot of promise, but I'm going to give a shout out and credit to my thoughts to Duke from Wear Testers. He actually has not liked his D Rose 11 as far as the traction, as far as the cushion, how they play. He just has not given it great reviews in any aspect, and I really trust what he says. Now, he has a much narrower foot than mine, so his fit and how he likes shoes is going to be a different experience from what he says, but that's just a personal thing. It's something you need to match with your foot size and who you're listening to in your reviews. I have a much wider foot, so something like the Dame 6 really worked with me, where for him, he really hated that since he has a more narrow foot. Same thing like last year, my shoe of the year was the New Balance Ominous. That's a much wider fit if you have a high instep, and it does have a normal fit, but again, if you have a narrow foot, you're just not going to like the Omnis fitting your foot. So that's when you're going to find a little bit more personal preference jumping in, which is why I like to do things more in comparison, and I like to do reviews based on what are the majority of people going to enjoy. As far as I'm concerned, I think the Dame 7 is going to be a much nicer setup as far as having light strike you can feel, a comfortable shoe you can wear, and it's not quite as comfortable as the other shoes we have in the market, but it's an incredibly balanced setup that, again, with the solid traction also with most of the Dame 7s have, it's just a really good all-around shoe at a really good price. Next step up is your Pro Boost. Now the Pro Boost is one that I think most reviewers have loved. The materials, especially like on this colorway, are amazing, and I do want to touch on that for a point. Depending on the colorway you get with Adidas, they are the most guilty brand of this. If you get a colorway that doesn't perform well, it may not be the shoe, it may just be that colorway, as far as how it fits your foot, how the materials mold to your foot, what kind of traction it offers. Their color blocking makes a huge difference to the performance aspects of their shoes, which is a shame since you would hope you just get a shoe and it performs well no matter how it looks. That's just not the case. The Pro Boost is one of the first shoes that had Boost plus Light Strike, and it said it had a Boost liner or insole, which I was hoping you could take out. I'll try to get a kind of a deeper shot of this, but essentially you could see the Boost right underneath the strobo board here, but it's not something you can take out in the shoe. This is a cushioning setup that reminds me of the Omnis, where it's really balanced. It's still somewhat firm, but that Boost does an amazing job with impact protection. It's not hard on the court, so it is something that is just a really good balance. I guess if you're a lighter player, you may find this way more comfortable, and if you're a heavier player, you may find this a bit firm, but still forgiving as far as the impact protection, where you still feel quick, you don't get any shocks up your body. This is a really nice compromise. You're able to get these generally on the low. This is the low top. I love this colorway, and I do have the matching next level colorway, but this is just a really good all-around shoe if you're looking for a little bit more impact protection and you have more of a normal foot coming from like the Dame 6. This compared to the Dame 7 I think is a little bit closer, since that does have more light strike, that has a little more traditional lacing setup. This, I don't know if you guys can see here, has a actual elastic band right here, so it's actually hard to get on if you have a high instep on this. So width wise, I think you're okay going up that half size. So for me, that was true to size 12, but overall I think this or the Dame 7 are actually pretty equal, and I think price wise they're right around the same MSRP. And that takes us to Adidas's top of the lineup, their Harden Volume 5, which is I believe 160, and the next level that used to be 180, now it's 150, and I've seen on sale for under 100 in some places. The next level 3 has already leaked out, so is the Don Issue 3, but the next level 3 is going to be, let's do this in order here, the Harden Volume 5 with that removable midsole, and I'm not going to try to take it out because it is a pain to remove. Let's see if I can do it here on camera. It is actually really firm underneath. Okay, I got it. That wasn't too bad. And I've taken this off and on. This actually has this portion right here with the white and those 3 stripes is actually a solid piece. So it does have that kind of, I guess, torsional rigidity you're looking for, especially when a shoe has nothing to it when you take it out. This has a Boost liner with a light strike outer, and this is like the Pro Boost, but a little bit softer, where it's just a really nice balance, but you still have more impact protection than what you're getting on the Pro Boost, on Harden Volume 4, but because of that light strike, because you're low to the court, you still feel fairly quick on this. Now, I've only been able to walk on a court. I wasn't allowed to play, so I can't do a review on this at all. I can just tell you about the cushion and the fit. And this is probably going to be the second most cushioned Adidas shoe you can get. Probably one of the best in the Harden lineup, and something I'm really excited for. Just walking around, this is something that I think most people have said they had some heel slip issues. I'm seeing that walking around. I don't know how it's going to feel playing. If it's going to break in, if it's going to feel better or worse. I don't know how the traction is going to be, but I can tell you in the cushion, it feels nice. And this is coming from a bigger player comparing it to the rest of the shoes in our lineup. And this is something that hopefully will work in other shoes that drop in midsoles, a la the Black Mamba line. So we'll see what we can do and what we can find out from this. And it brings us to the most cushioned shoe you can get in the Adidas lineup, and that is the Next Level 2. The Next Level 3 is already out. The boost is something you can really feel on this. I thought it was just really soft light strike. I didn't realize it had that boost midsole until one of you guys told me in the comments, so thank you. The traction works incredibly well. I was able to play in this before I was kicked off the courts in early November. The fit for wide footers in general is going to be really nice. It doesn't nearly lock you down as much as the first one, but not in a negative way, in a way where at least my foot can breathe. I did a 12 in this. Again, they run big. What I told you about sizing goes to all of these. So I would say probably a size down for most people, but a size 12 on this fits me incredibly well. It is not nearly as stable as a Harden Volume 5 or the Pro Boost, just because of the way this outsole is segmented. You don't really have an outrigger. So for this, I just had to trust the shoe that it would hold me in, but depending on how I moved, I did feel it could roll over. It wasn't as secure or didn't inspire as much confidence in me as some of the other shoes in the lineup as far as Adidas, but that cushion just, I kept wanting to wear them. Like, this is the shoe you want to get if you need a lot of cushion and you're in the 3-stripe camp. If you go to an Adidas school or you're sponsored by 3 Stripes, this is going to give you some of the most cushion you can get from the Adidas lineup outside of a traditional lacing system like the Harden Volume 5 or going with just straight light strike with the Dame 7. That combination of boost and light strike and the amount of cushion you're getting is just really comfortable. Guys, girls, athletes all over the world, hopefully that helped you out as far as sizing, what to look for in the Adidas lineup and the 3-stripe lineup. Let me know if you want to see any direct comparisons, if it's going to be worth it for me to try to get the Dame 7. Right now, with me not having access to courts yet, the vaccine is getting pushed out here in early 2021, depending when you're watching this with the coronavirus pandemic. So hopefully courts can open up. Shoes like the PG5, I have the Jordan 35s, the LeBron 18s, all shoes I've just not been able to do any testing on. I have been doing a lot of running for running shoes and a lot of training, so training shoes. So hopefully I can push some of that content out soon. But if you found this video helpful in any way, give it a thumbs up, put in the comments below what you guys want to see, what you found helpful, or any questions you may have. As always, I really appreciate you guys. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears, and I'll come at you later.